Good morning, one and all. Myself Bhavani from Civil Department. Today we are going to discuss on endogenous hazards and what are the questions we can get from this chapter. Okay, here we are going to discuss on the question bank of this endogenous hazards. Means what are the questions we can accept? We can expect from these volcanoes or earthquakes like this one. Why? Because these are all the endogenous hazards here. And in the endogenous hazards, first question is what are the causes and distribution of volcanoes and how do they impact the environment? Mainly, we all know that if any volcanic eruption is started means that will literally cause the changes towards the climatic conditions. Why? Because from these volcanoes means after this volcanic eruption, so much of the ash and also the toxic gases like sulfur dioxide and sometimes carbon dioxide will go into the atmosphere, and that causes the airborne diseases to the nearby living people. And here, why these volcanoes are going to be occurred and what is the means where we can see these volcanoes, what are the main causes of these volcanoes, we can get to know about this all about volcanoes in this question. Firstly, these volcanoes can be caused due to the movement of the tectonic plates. Means when there is a displacement of the tectonic plates and also the presence of hot spots will be there, there only we can see these volcanic eruptions. And mainly our earth lithosphere is divided into several plates. Means mainly these several plates can be float on the semi-fluid asthenosphere beneath. And here beneath of the earth surface we will be having the semi-fluid content that will float on the earth lithosphere. Means at that time when these plates, when they are going to diverge means or converge and also move towards this hotspot means magma which is under the mantle can rise towards the earth surface. Okay, magma will always be means it will be nearer to the hotspots. Means when there will be rise in the tectonic plates or displacement of the tectonic plates, we can see means there magma from this mantle it is going to rise towards the earth surface. Means that is going to result in the volcanic eruption. And coming to the next one, that is what is meant by these divergent boundaries, convergent boundaries means firstly divergent boundaries. Here divergent boundaries nothing but these tectonic plates are going to move apart from this boundaries. Means it will going to allow the magma to rise and it also create the new crust here. Okay, means move apart nothing but it is going to move like this. Okay, and we all know that convergent boundaries will be like this. Means it will move towards. Okay, this is the convergent boundaries and this is the divergent boundaries, and it is going to move apart. This going to allow the magma to rise and create the new earth crust also. And here this process when in this divergent boundaries, this process forms the mid-ocean ridges and also the volcanic islands. Means because of this volcanic eruptions also so many islands means Hawaii like that one, these areas are formed from these volcanoes only. Those are nothing but the volcanic islands we can call. Next one is convergent boundaries, and here in this convergent boundaries tectonic plates or subducts beneath another. Means those are going to be beneath one another towards the another one, and that will lead towards the melting of this subducted plate, and then only we are going to see the formation of this volcanic arcs. And in this convergent boundaries when tectonic plates they are moving like this means automatically their melting of this subducted plates is must and hour. Means we can see easily this subducted plate, and then only there will be formation of this volcanic arcs. And coming to the next one, that is hot spots. And in these hot spots, what is meant by these hot spots? Nothing but where the plumes of this hot mantle material that will rise towards the earth surface. Means it is not dependent on this plate boundaries. It will be independent of these plate boundaries here. Means whether it may be convergent boundaries or divergent boundaries, this hotspot there, it cannot going to depend on these boundaries. And so when this hotspot will be present at one place, means they are going to just eruption can be done because of this hotspot. Means hot mantle material is going to rise into the earth surface. Means like Hawaiian Islands are one of the best example of this volcanic chain formed under this hotspot. Means Hawaii Islands is also nothing but is also islands that can be occurred due to this hotspot only. And next one is distribution of the volcanoes. Means where we can see these volcanoes, how they are distributed around the world. Means mainly we can see these volcanoes, it can be distributed along the tectonic plate boundaries with the Pacific Ring of Fire. Means in this these volcanoes can be seen in the Pacific Ocean. Means almost world's 50% of the volcanoes can be seen in this Pacific Ocean. That place is also called as the Ring of Fire. Means it is one of the notable volcanic belt activity. Means in this one, volcanoes are very numerous volcanoes are active volcanoes in this area. Means some may be they already extincted and some may be they are sometimes it is that volcanoes may be active, and for the past few years it cannot be active also. But so many active volcanoes we can see in this Pacific Ring of Fire. And in this one, this overall Pacific Ocean region, means where this Ring of Fire is there, it is mainly characterized by the frequent earthquakes and also the numerous active volcanoes we can see in this Pacific Ocean. Means that Ring of Fire area is also called as the one of the notable area where we can find the earthquakes as well as the active volcanoes. Next one is what are the environmental impacts we can see from this volcanic eruption. Means what is the main impact towards the environmental conditions. Means when these volcanic eruptions can be erupted, means then the immediate effect we can see is destruction of the vegetation. Why? Because when the lava is flowing towards some path, means when vegetation along that path can be destroyed easily when this lava is flowable in that path, and also wildlife habitat are going to be destroyed, and also the human settlements are going to be destroyed because of this volcanic eruption. And here when this volcanic eruption is there, means ash clouds are going to be formed, and due to this formation of the ash clouds, it can also block the sunlight, and because of this blocking of the sunlight from this ash clouds, it leading towards the cold waves. Means also their temperature cooling of the earthquake surface can be seen here. Why? Because solar radiation is one of the main thing towards our earth. Means if because of this ash clouds, if that is overall covering the sunlight, means it's also cooling the climate, and also because of the temperature cooling, whether it may be temporary or permanent also, cold waves are very much dangerous towards the changing in the atmospheric condition. And also due to this eruption, so many toxic gases like sulfur dioxide, it is going to contribute towards the formation of these acid rains. Means when acid rains will be there, means that automatically affect the air quality. Means air pollution can be occurred because of this one. And here these volcanic eruptions also can trigger the secondary hazards like lahars, tsunamis, and also the landslides. And these lahars we already know that is nothing but the mud flows. Okay. Coming to the next one, that is causes of earthquakes. What are the causes of earthquakes and how they are distributed globally? Mainly, these earthquakes are also going to be caused due to the sudden release of the energy in the earth crust. Means when from the earth crust sudden energy is going to be released, means there will be displacement of the tectonic plates, we can see. Means at that time, if the displacement of tectonic plates will be there, means automatically these earthquakes can be formed. Means when these so much of energy generates these seismic waves, means it will result in the ground shaking. Means if the ground shaking may be in some places it is average ground shaking will be there, but in some areas like Japan and like that areas, we can see the very much damage due to this ground shaking. There is very much damage towards the overall infrastructure, and also it leads towards the loss of human life and also the habitat loss here. Means why these tectonic causes is going to be occur, means most important cause of this earthquakes is, it is nothing but because of the movement of tectonic plates at the fault lines. Why? Because, and here due to this cause of the earthquakes, when there will be continuous displacement of the tectonic plates in the fault lines will be there, means due to this only we are going to observe the formation of the earthquakes here. Okay, and here because we are going to explain this tectonic plate boundaries in three types. First one is transform boundaries, and in this transform boundaries, what we can see in this boundary means when any two tectonic plates that are going to slide each other, means that are going to cause them these stress and also the friction. Means due to this sliding, means like this, if these are the two plates, means due to this two plates sliding each other, that also cause them stress and also the friction towards the earth crust. Okay, best example of this transform boundaries or San Andreas Fault in California. It is one of the best example that comes under this transform boundaries. Next one is convergent boundaries, and in this convergent boundaries, when any two tectonic plates that are going to be collide with each other, means one plate is forced beneath the another. Okay, one plate is going to be means rupture can be seen at that time. One plate is forced to fix beneath the another one. That also leads towards the powerful earthquakes. Means we can say like zone 4 areas and also zone 5 areas can be seen because of this convergent boundaries. And here mainly in the areas like Himalayas, it can be formed due to the collision of the Indian and also the Eurasian plates. It is one of the frequent occurring earthquake region we can see in our India. And next one is divergent boundaries. And in these divergent boundaries, when any two plates that are going to move apart, means there due to the movement of this two tectonic plates, there will be causing of the tension because of this displacement of the tectonic plates, that will leads towards the formation of this earthquake or causing of this earthquake. Main example of this one is Mid-Atlantic Ridge. And here this Mid-Atlantic Ridge, it is a best example of this divergent boundary area which having the seismic activity. Means in this boundary also we can see the huge number of earthquakes that are going to occur in this Mid-Atlantic Ridge areas. Next one is volcanic causes. Means here due to the volcanic eruptions also, how these earthquakes are going to be occur. Here you can see these earthquakes are also going to be occur in this volcanic region. Why? Because when magma is going to be erupted towards the earth surface, means there will be automatically displacement of the tectonic plates. Okay, means fault lines are also going to be changed its position at that time. Means when this movement of the or displacement of the tectonic plates will be there, means that can these volcanic regions are also can lead towards these earthquakes due to the movement of this magma from the or beneath the earth surface. These can often precursors the volcanic eruptions also. Next one is human-induced causes. Means due to the man-made also we are going to get the earthquakes here. Means we can say because of the mining and because of the reservoir-induced seismicity. Why? Because when we are going to construct the dams means obviously we are going to just dig out the overall soil surface. Means when we are doing that one means automatically we are going to disturbing the overall earth surface at that time. That also going to lead towards the earthquakes here. And in this reservoir induced seismicity, we can see the filling of these large reservoirs and also the hydraulic fracturing also we can see. This also causes the earthquakes here. Why? Because they can be typically of low occurring earthquakes which having the low magnitude like less than 3 also sometimes. Okay, very low magnitude we can see because of this man-made disasters also. Means when we are doing this mining or making this reservoir induced seismicity also, we have to be very careful with precautions we have to take, whether it may be low magnitude or whether it may be medium magnitude earthquakes. We have to be very much careful towards these natural hazards. And next one is global distribution. And here mainly these earthquakes are going to be concentrated towards this plate boundaries. And here due to the displacement of these tectonic plates only, earthquakes are going to be occur. Means where we can see this type of earthquakes means which region we can see huge number of earthquakes are occurring means in the area of Pacific Ring of Fire. Means just now only I told you this, whether it may be earthquakes or whether it may be volcanoes in the area of Ring of Fire only. These there will be huge number of earthquakes as well as the volcanoes are going to be occur. Why? Because it is having the most number of means almost 50% of the world's volcanoes and also earthquakes can be seen in this region. Means it is going to be surrounded with the Pacific Ocean, this Ring of Fire area. And here in this one, it is one of the most active region in the world. And some of the other earthquake zones where these earthquakes are frequently occurring means it can be included with the Himalayas, Mediterranean region and also the mid-Atlantic ridge areas. Means we can see the overall distribution of these earthquakes around this area. In this one Pacific Ring of Fire, it is one of the area where we can see this frequent occurring of earthquakes and also the volcanoes here. Next one is what are the hazardous effect of volcanic eruptions on human settlements? Means because of this human settlements, what are the means when volcanoes are going to be occurred means it can be having the devastating effects on the human settlements, and that may be depending on the proximity towards the volcanoes here. And here the main thing we can see in this volcanoes means it can be depends on the size of that volcanic eruption and also the type of volcanic activity also. Main effects we can say means some of the hazardous effects we can include here means first one lava flows. Means here when any magma means when magma is going to be erupted towards the earth surface means automatically that will flow towards the downstream in the form of the lava. When this lava flowing is very slowly moving means it can destroy everything, nothing but whether it may be infrastructure or whether it may be habitants or whether it may be vegetation. Means when this lava is flowing towards their means some path means anything it comes under that path means this lava will destroy this overall, whether it may be object or whether it may be anything, it will destroy everything. It will be include the homes, infrastructure and also the agricultural land here. And mainly these people can usually evacuate before means being overrun by this lava. Means due to that, means obviously if any natural disaster is going to be occur, means we have to warn the people who are living nearby these volcanoes, like that one. Okay, if they are not going to evacuate their place, means of course they are going to lose their life also, whether it may be in case of their life or in case of their property also. They are going to lose everything. And here, when people they cannot evacuate their area, means where there is frequent occurring of this volcanoes, means there will be so much of the loss of property, and also the loss of life can be significant in that areas. So we have to be careful, and the government have to give strict orders towards the people who are living beside these volcanoes or nearer by this volcanoes eruption also. And next one is pyroclastic flows and main effects, means main effects of this volcanoes due to, means how it is going to be affect the human settlements, means due to this after lava flows, this pyroclastic flow is also one of the huge effect towards the society. And here these pyroclastic flows, these are one of the fast moving hot gases and also the volcanic matter that almost going to be move at the fastness of 700 kilometer per hour, means 450 meter per hour we can say. Means when that much of speed this volcanic matter or any hot gases are flowing, means almost it will destroy everything when that comes under its path. And also at that time its temperature will be almost 1000 degrees Celsius. Means obviously in summer season if we are getting just 50 degrees also, we can't face that radiation. Means we can imagine if that pyroclastic flow is 1000 degrees Celsius, means how much of this hot gas can influence them or can affect the human settlements, we can imagine. So when this pyroclastic flow is obviously a flow towards these human living areas or towards their home, means we have to be careful and immediately evacuate that place also. And these type of flows, they are very much extremely destructive and can easily incinerate the buildings, forest, and also any object, anything that comes under its path within the fraction of minutes only. In sometimes only the fraction of seconds also, it can destroy everything. And next one is ashfall. And here in this ashfall, volcanoes is when these volcanoes are going to be erupted, this volcanic ash can cover very large areas. Means sometimes it also cover the whole forest area also. So when this volcanic ash is very large in number and it also cover the large areas, means it will lead towards the collapse of the roofs and also the contamination of the water supplies. Why? Because so many people they are going to depend on the bore water sometimes, and some people they are going to depend on the water bodies like ponds, rivers, like that one. Means when these volcanoes, means nearer by these water bodies, if active volcanoes are there, means obviously these water bodies are going to be contaminated. So contamination of these water bodies also is very much damage towards the human society, and also there will be destruction of the agricultural fields also. And here when we are going to inhale this type of volcanic ash, means that also towards the humans, that also causes the respiratory problems in humans as well as the animals. And some animals or some of the people who are having this very weak immune system also, they are going to die when they are going to inhale this volcanic ash also, or some gases are going to be released at that time. When we are going to inhale also, that may be dangerous towards the humans and also as well as the animals here. Next one is lahars, and here in this lahars, volcanic mud flows or lahars, these are all nothing but the mixture of the volcanic ash here. And here it is also a mixture of the volcanic ash, water, and sometimes it can be often from the melting snow or glaciers on the volcanoes also we can see. Here, when these lahars or mud flows are going to be flow from that path, means from that volcano path, means in that one from when this melting of snow we can say, glaciers we can say, means from that one also these lahars can be flow on these volcanoes, means when these lahars they travel towards the river valleys with a very high speed, means it is going to bury the entire communities under debris and also the mud here. Why? Because lahars nothing but what? Volcanic mud flows. Means when this mud flows that is going towards these water bodies, means these are going to contaminate that water, and due to this one waterborne diseases are going to be caused at that time. Next one is tsunamis, and here because of this volcanic eruption, if the volcanic erupted is already erupted in some region, means or the collapse of the volcanic islands is there, means that also causes this tsunamis. Why? Because when this volcanic eruption is occurring, means it can easily inundate the coastal areas, means when it will inundate the coastal areas, means people living in that coastal areas they are going to lose their properties and also they can lose their lives also. These tsunamis are very much dangerous, and with the help of these volcanoes, these tsunamis are formed at a very high speed and it can easily destroy or just wipe out the areas who are living nearer by these coastal areas. And coming to the next question, that is how do earthquakes pose hazards in India and what measures can be taken for mitigation? And here our India is also vulnerable towards these earthquakes due to its position and the boundary between the Indian plate and also the Eurasian plate. And here, when there is vulnerable active earthquakes will be there in this Indian plate and the Eurasian plate, means when these plates are going to be collide, means it is going to create the Himalayas, and that will lead towards the frequent seismic activity in that area. Mainly in our India also, some of the zones we can say like zone 2, zone 3, zone 4, zone 5. These are all the areas, means according to the frequent occurring earthquakes, we are dividing these zones here. Why? Because zone 2 is nothing but very rare occurring earthquakes, means as well as this zone 5 nothing but frequent occurring of earthquakes here. And coming through the first one, that is seismic zones, and in these seismic zones mainly India is divided into 4 seismic zones, which having the zone 2, zone 3, zone 4 and also zone 5. Obviously in our India zone 1 is not there, but in the whole world we are having very few regions where we can have this zone 1 area. Okay, means here why we are dividing these seismic zones, means it is based on the intensity of the earthquakes here. Okay, and here zone 5 is nothing but the most active seismic region, and it includes the areas like northeastern states like Uttarakhand and also Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir, and also these Andaman and Nicobar Islands. In this area, we can see frequent occurring of the earthquakes here. But in zone 2, very rare, it will be very rare to see these earthquakes that can occur in this zone 2. And next one is urbanization. Here, when we are developing the urbanization, means in the areas of seismic zones, means that also leads towards the we are going to construct the buildings, but they may not be earthquake resistant. So rapid urbanization in the especially in the seismic zones like zone 4, zone 2, means that will lead towards the construction of the buildings here, and sometimes these buildings can be earthquake resistant also. Due to this earthquake resistant, it is going to means that type of building that are going to increase the risk of casualties during an earthquakes. Means when this earthquake is occurring means that the buildings are collapsing easily. Means we are observing nowadays in the northeast areas also, so many buildings they are collapsing because they are not at all earthquake resistant building. So when we are constructing any type of building in any region means we have to just define whether it is zone 2, zone 3, zone 4 and zone 5. If it is zone 5 means we have to take the help of the code book which having the earthquake resistant means we are having some this values and also some code books we have to follow. Means Indian standard code books we have to follow to construct these buildings in the zone 5 areas or zone 4 areas also. Means according to the zones also their construction can be differ easily. Okay, means when we are constructing in zone 5 areas means our houses can be different when compared with the zone 2 areas. Means zone 2 areas that can be constructed easily. Why? Because there will be very rare occurring of this earthquake. But in zone 4 and zone 5, earthquakes are frequently occurring. Means we have to construct the buildings in this zone 4 and zone 5 as the earthquake resistant buildings. So then only it can sustain any type of earthquake. Means whether it may be high magnitude earthquake like greater than 7 magnitude earthquake also occurring means we can sustain that type of earthquake here. And here next one is population density. And in this population density, when high population in the urban areas, we can see means we have to evacuate that places, and also emergency response can be more challenging when an earthquake can be occurred in that areas. Means obviously nowadays we are only concentrating on the development of these urban areas. When we are developing these urban areas means we have to consider the whether they are earthquake resistant buildings we are constructing or not. Okay, firstly we have to consider that one. Means it can be important to construct with the Indian standard codes where they also mention these how we are going to construct these earthquake resistant buildings and what are the specifications we have to follow at that time. We are having code books, and also when we are going to follow this type of code books means it will be easy to construct that earthquake resistant buildings in that area. Means obviously in our India is one of the topmost population country in the whole world. Means we can imagine how much of the population we will be getting in the past decades also. Means in the last 1 or 2 years, China is one of the top one most populated country. But now our India is the most populated country. So when population is increasing means obviously we are going to increase the infrastructure also. When we are increasing these construction of these urban areas, or whether it may be in the case of infrastructure like this one, when we are constructing, earthquake resistance should be there, should be constructed. And also if they are constructing in the earthquake region means we have to be very careful by constructing that buildings with the earthquake resistant as the earthquake resistant building. And it can be more challenging when any major earthquakes occurred in that areas, in the areas like Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir. Why? Because evacuation and emergency response can be immediately coming to action to save the people from this type of major earthquakes also. Next one is mitigation measures. Here mitigation measures are nothing but what we are going to do to mitigate these earthquakes means firstly earthquake resistant construction. Here when we are going to implement and also following these building codes that requires the earthquake resistant design means that will be very beneficial for the construction in the specific regions where the earthquakes are very frequent. and it is very much crucial to follow these building codes and also implementing these building codes for reducing the risk of building collapse during an earthquake. Means when any type of earthquake is going to be occur, means by following these building codes or implementing these building codes, building collapsing can be reduced because of this one. Next one is public awareness. Here, public awareness and education is a must towards the society when this earthquake is occurring. Means we have to educate the public about the earthquakes, means how they are going to be prepared when these earthquakes are going to be occur, and some may be including emergency drills, safe building practices, and also the importance of having emergency supplies can also save their lives at that time. Means if this obviously these meteorological people, they are always means they are seeing the climatic conditions from this GIS or from the RS. When they are doing that one, means when in the part of the world, if some part is going to be suffering, is going to be suffer because of this earthquake, means they come to know immediately and they have to give order towards that area people to evacuate and also to leave that place immediately. Means when we are going to do that one, means that can be easy to save the people from this natural disaster. Next one is early warning system. And in this early warning system, we have to develop and also deploy the early warning system. Means when we are going to give the early warning system to the people, means they are just evacuate their place and they can move towards some safe region also. And due to this early warning systems also, that can detect the seismic activity and it will provide them advance notice of impending earthquakes also. Due to this early warning system, it can also reduce the casualties. And coming to the next one, that is retrofitting infrastructure. And in this retrofitting infrastructure, when which having the retrofitting existing infrastructure like schools, hospitals, colleges, bridges, they have to withstand this seismic activity. And when there is a retrofitting existing infrastructure, it is very much necessary for minimizing the damage and also to ensure the safety of the critical services here. And because of this retrofitting infrastructure, that will be very beneficial for the educational buildings or the hospital buildings or for the construction of these buildings also. Means when after the earthquake, some part of this educational buildings or hospitals or bridges can be damaged to some parts. Okay. Means if we do the retrofitting, means if there is retrofitting infrastructure, means that will be easy to minimize the damage and also that can also safety the critical services also. And next one is disaster preparedness plans. Means here obviously government and some of the communities should have to well define this disaster preparedness. Means government have to give orders to the people when they are going to face this natural disasters, and also when they are giving the early warning system to the people, means they can also include the communities to evacuate that living people where these earthquakes can be occurred. Means evacuation routes we can show to the people and also emergency response we can give and also communication strategies also we can give. Means by communicating through the mobile or by communicating through the televisions also, we can get to know about this disaster, natural disaster. Means how much of powerful earthquake is going to be occur. Means if we are going to evacuate or not. Everything we can get the information from this communication strategies also. And coming to the next question, that is discuss the environmental impacts of volcanic eruptions and long-term consequences on the affected areas. Means when this volcanoes or volcanic eruption is done, means after eruption of this volcanoes, it can having both immediate and also the long-term environmental impact. Means some maybe contamination of the air we can say, or contamination of the water we can say, and contamination of the soil, and also climatic conditions are also going to be changed because of this volcanic eruption. And some of the environmental impacts we can see of the after the immediate action of this volcanic eruption is air quality. And here, when volcanic eruption it is going to be released means after the volcanic eruption it will release very large amount of um, volcanic ash or sulfur dioxide or some other gases like carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Means when this volcanic ash or toxic gases these are coming from the volcanic eruption means that will directly go into the atmosphere. Means because of this one it will also cause the respiratory problems in both the humans and also the animals. Means so many they are going to get these respiratory problems and lung infections they may get. So we have to be very careful who are living nearer by this volcano, a frequent occurring of this volcano where the active volcanoes will be there. Means there who are living means they have to evacuate if the volcanic eruption is started initially. Okay, otherwise they are going to get the so many number of health issues also. Means obviously we can say that while this volcanic eruption sulfur dioxide is going to be released into the atmosphere that will cause the acid rain. This will automatically harm the vegetation and also the aquatic life. Okay, and next one is water contamination. And in this water contamination volcanic ash when it is going to be fall, and at that time so much release of the toxic gases we can see when that is going towards the water. Means when this type of toxic gases or volcanic ash that will go towards the water bodies like rivers, ponds, means the contamination of the water can be we can see the contamination of that water. Means from that one only we are going to get the waterborne diseases like cholera, malaria, and some of them means lung problems or liver damaging of the liver we can get from this inhaling or drinking that type of contamination water. Also we can get some very rare types of diseases also we can get from this drinking of the contaminated water which comes from these volcanoes. And when this contamination water we can use it for the drinking purpose, it means it will be very unsafe towards the human health and as well as the animals also. And that water cannot be used for the agricultural purpose. So this will lead towards the, because of the contamination of that water, that will lead towards the water shortage, and also it will affect the food production also. And coming to the next one, that is vegetation destruction. Here, when after the volcanic eruption, this magma is going to be erupted. After eruption, it will flow in the form of lava. When this lava flow or ash fall and also pyroclastic flows, this can destroy everything when like forest, agricultural fields, or any vegetation that comes under this lava flowing or pyroclastic flowing, means that will just wipe out the forest area or vegetation also. That will lead towards the loss of habitat for wildlife, and also it will impact the local agriculture. Okay, and after this cooling of this lava, that soil can be used for the agricultural purpose. Why? Because this lava means volcanic eruption is somewhat good also. Okay, means there will be so much of minerals when this volcanic ash or any lava that goes towards the earth surface, means after that cooling of this lava we can use that land for the agricultural purpose. Why? Because if you are going to grow the crops in that area, means that soil will be having so much of minerals which are getting from this volcanic eruption also. So sometimes it will be beneficial or sometimes it will be not be beneficial also. And what are the long-term consequences we can say means soil fertility. Why? Because this volcanic ash can be enhancing the soil fertility by adding the nutrients like potassium, phosphorus, and also some other sometimes calcium also. Means when this type of nutrients that are going to be added towards the soil means it will increase the fertility of that land that can be used for the agricultural as the agricultural fields. And here when the type of soil we can use for the agricultural purpose means it can give the agricultural productivity in the affected regions, and once the immediate hazards can be subsided means after this slowing down of these volcanoes and after the completion of these volcanoes we can use that land, that pathway, or where this lava flowing, that path we can use for the agricultural fields. Why? Because there will be so much nutrients present in that soil like potassium, phosphorus, like that one. And next one is climatic change, and in this climatic change there will be large volcanic eruption that can be means when this volcanic eruption is happen means that will there will be so much change towards the climatic conditions. Why? Because so much amount of the sulfur dioxide that will go towards the earth stratosphere means due to this earth stratosphere that this sulfur dioxide is going to rise the acid rains. Means why? Because when this volcanic ash or sulfur dioxide that will prevent the solar radiation that coming towards the earth surface. Means when it is just a different that is eradicating that solar radiation means that is going to form the sulfate aerosols, and that also reflect the sunlight, and they, at that time cold waves can be formed on this earth surface that will lead towards the temporary global cooling, and sometimes permanent global cooling can be seen in some of the regions. And at the volcanic eruption of at the mountain of Mount Pinatubo that is occurred in 1991, in that region temporary global cooling is occurred due to this volcanic eruption. Next one is economic impact, and in this economic impact the destruction of the infrastructure means obviously when these volcanoes are going to be erupted means that will destruct the infrastructure, and there will be loss of agricultural productivity and also displacement of the population. Why? Because so many people they are going to evacuate their native place and they are going to move towards the another safe place so that they can save themselves. And but by this one it can have the long lasting economic consequences, and the cost of this rebuilding and recovery can strain these local and national economies. Okay. And next one is biodiversity loss. Means when this volcanic eruption is going to be started means when that lava flowing, everything that comes under that lava flow path means it will going to destroy everything. It will be vegetation or it may be destruction of the habitats also sometimes. And here that will leads towards the loss of biodiversity in some affected areas. And some of the species are also going to be extincted because of this volcanic eruption. So many animals are going to be migrated from one place to another place. Okay. And coming to the next question, that is what are the hazardous effects of earthquakes and how can human population adjust to and pursue these risks? Obviously earthquake is one of the very hazardous disaster we can see. Means it is one of the natural disaster which is very much dangerous towards the society and towards the economic growth and towards the environmental growth also. It is one of the very disaster, a natural disaster which will impact all the factors like environmental conditions or economic conditions and also the social conditions also. It can be catastrophic. Okay. And mainly in the densely populated or poorly prepared areas when these earthquakes are going to be occur means it will going to be means that type of area, densely populated area, it occurred means overall because of this earthquakes we are going to lose the firstly we are going to lose the infrastructure, and also there will be collapsing of the buildings, and also communication system is going to be damaged, and also water bodies can be damaged, and there will be contamination of the water and also the air because of this earthquake. Coming to the primary effects we can include in this one is ground shaking. And here in this ground shaking, most immediate effect of any type of earthquake is ground shaking. Means in some regions ground shaking will be very low, but in some regions it will be very high. Means at very high magnitude this ground shaking is started means it will directly collapse the buildings at that time. Okay, and it can automatically collapse the both infrastructure buildings, and that will leads towards the loss of the life and also the property. Means we can't know means this time earthquake is going to be occur, and if the people are living in that buildings or in that high-rise buildings means during this ground shaking of this earthquakes, automatically when it is going to be means with very fastness this ground shaking will be there, means people will be automatically going to be die in the collapsing of these buildings only. And next one is surface rupture. Means these earthquakes can cause the ground to crack and also shift along this fault lines. Means when this type of earthquakes are going to be happen means obviously if any earthquake is going to be occur means that will just crack the ground, and that will damage the transportation system, and it will damage the roads, pipelines, and also the other infrastructure also. Means when if this is your road means this earthquake is can be occurred like this. Means if there is here buildings are there means due to this cracking of the roads or transportation or earth surface means these buildings are going to be collapsed at that time. And next one is landslides. Means here due to this earthquakes it also can be triggered this landscapes in the mountainous regions or hilly regions. Why? Because it can easily bury the communities and also cut off the essential services. Okay. Why? Because this mountainous region means their rural people can be living. Means in that areas if the earthquakes is occurred means overall that rural area people transportation is going to be damaged at that time. Means there will be so much scarcity of their essential services also, whether it may be damaging of the communication, whether it may be supplying of the food to the affected people who are go through in this earthquakes also. We can't help them. Means through the helicopters we can help the people with the food and also the water facility. And next one is tsunamis. Means when earthquakes are occurred under the sea means it can also generate the tsunamis. Means it also when these tsunamis are going to be occur means it can inundate the coastal areas with the very little warning. Means who are people living nearby these coastal areas means they are going to be mostly affected. Why? Because within some very little time only these tsunamis can wipe out these coastal area people area. Overall it is going to just wipe out the people who are living in that buildings also because of this tsunami. And also it is going to be cause the widespread destruction, and there will be loss of the life also. Due to tsunamis there will be no destruction of the buildings can be seen, but so much of the loss of life can be seen because of the tsunamis. Next one is soil liquefaction, and in this one in some of the areas which having the loose water saturated soils means when the earth shaking can be seen means that can cause the soil to behave like the liquid, and because of behaving the soil to be like the liquid means it will leads towards the sinking or tilting of the buildings here. Okay, that is this soil liquefaction is also one of the rare condition we can see because of this earthquakes. And coming to the next one, that is human adjustment and perception. And in this human adjustment and perception, first condition is preparedness. Means when any type of natural disaster, whether it may be earthquake or whether it may be volcanoes, means we have to be prepared. Means people have to be prepared if natural disaster is going to be occur. So people who are living in these earth prone areas, means they must be prepared for the possibility of the frequent earthquakes. Means that can be include the emergency supplies, and also knowing about the evacuation routes, and also understanding what to do during and after the earthquakes. Why? Because Japan people are very much aware of these earthquakes. Means their frequent occurring of the earthquakes can be seen. Means according to that only their infrastructure will be there. So as usual, here also we have to be very much careful during occurring of this earthquake and after occurring of this earthquake. Means we have to know about the evacuation routes, and also the emergency supplies we have to get before during or after occurring of this earthquakes, and also before occurring of this earthquake also emergency supplies have to be included. And by doing this one, by prepared ourselves from this natural disaster, it will be easy to save ourselves from these disasters. And next one is building codes. Here we have to be very much adherence towards the following of this strict building codes. Means obviously any type of building have to be designed according to the earthquake resistant only. Means any type of building have to withstand the specific seismic activity. It is very much crucial for the reduction of the risk of casualties and also damaging of the infrastructure. Means by following these building codes, we have to be we can get the overall infrastructure with earthquake resistant only. Means when any earthquake is going to be occur, means we can be safe at that time. And next one is risk perception. Here when individuals they pursue this risk of earthquakes, means they are going to influence the preparedness. Means we have to educate the people, and we have to conduct the campaigns to help, or awareness can be given to the people who are living in that earth prone areas, and we have to encourage the proactive measures also. Means government have to be very much active in case of this natural disaster. Means during occurring of this disaster, or before or after of this earthquake, government have to be active at that time, and they have to evacuate the people who are living in that earth prone areas, and they have to protect that people to travel them towards the safe areas, and government have to give the temporary shelters for them. So by doing this one, we can just reduce the risk upon these natural disasters. Next one is community resilience. Here building resilient communities, it also not only involves this physical preparedness but also the psychological readiness. Means if you are having the strong community systems and also the support system, means it can help the people to cope up with this after occurring of this earthquake also. Means community have to be, other than this government, communities, so many communities they will come forward to they will just combine with the government, and they can be helpful towards the government to protect the people, to travel them towards the safe areas which are not earth prone areas, and these community people they can give the psychological support to the people who are go through these natural disasters also. Okay, and these are the references books. Thank you everyone.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.